From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. AccuWeather meteorologists are saying that a major storm is brewing for midweek around the Great Lakes that may not only bring wintry changes, but could bring some much-needed rain. As one storm pushes out to sea off the mid-Atlantic coast, conditions conducive for brush fires will build once again across the Northeast. Lower temperatures compared to recent weeks will result in higher humidity levels and a lower risk of combustion in the coming days. However, there will still be enough of a breeze when combined with dry brush to keep that fire risk going, especially near the Atlantic coast in New England. The lack of soaking rain in the zone from New York through New Jersey, northern and eastern Pennsylvania, northeastern Maryland, and southern and western New England will allow the abnormally dry to drought conditions to continue building into the early part of this week. Overall conditions continue to worsen in the Northeast, with now 96% of the region either abnormally dry or experiencing drought. Looking ahead to the middle of this week, there are indications that a major storm will develop over the Great Lakes region. The winds will ramp up on Wednesday and peak during Thursday and Friday, but may persist in some areas through next weekend. Waves may get very rough on the Great Lakes, and strong winds may lead to renewed power outages where trees are still damaged in the southern Appalachians in the wake of Helene from late September. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brett Anderson said that another function will be for the storm to generate cold air in place and draw much colder air in from Canada across the Midwest to much of the Southeast and into the central Appalachians. The last places to chill down in this setup would likely be New England. Snow will go along with the cold air, and as the cold air passes over the warm waters of the Great Lakes, lake effect snow will develop and can become locally heavy. Snow is also likely to develop farther south, with the colder air over parts of the Ohio Valley and the central and southern Appalachians beginning Wednesday night and lasting into some areas into the weekend. The storm and a cold front associated with it would likely bring rain or showers and perhaps even a thunderstorm to the eastern states. Now, this setup alone may not bring enough rain to really matter much in terms of drought relief, with gusty winds quickly evaporating that moisture thereafter. And as the cold front approaches the Atlantic coast, a secondary storm could form along it. If this storm forms and then ramps up quickly from Wednesday into Thursday, it could tap into tropical moisture streaming across the Gulf of Mexico from Sarah. Now, this is one way that at least coastal areas to the eastern slopes of the Appalachians could end up with a period of drenching rain that actually makes a dent in the drought conditions, and combined with the blast of colder air later this week, significantly knocks down the brush fire activity. Now, Anderson went on to say that one thing the big Midwest storm and its spread of colder air into the south and east later this week will do will be to effectively end the risk of any tropical storms from making landfall in the U.S. Storms bringing rain and snow have been battering the Northwest for a few days, and more is on the way. Another more significant storm will follow from Tuesday night into Friday of this week. The storm is expected to be larger and stronger than the storm that passed through this weekend. A period of heavy snow may occur during the first part of the storm at midweek in the Cascades, prior to a surge of warm air with rain, and then a return of cold air with snow showers over the passes. Strong winds will create large waves offshore and along the Washington and Oregon coasts, and can lead to sporadic power outages in coastal and mountainous areas. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brett Anderson said that there is the potential for an atmospheric river event with the midweek storm in the Northwest. An atmospheric river is a long plume of moisture extending for miles across the ocean and onto land. Within this plume, a fire hose effect of rain or snow can occur, with sometimes major consequences. Flooding rainfall could be directed at low elevation areas along the I-5 corridor, and bursts of exceptionally heavy snow over the high country and the Olympics and the Cascades. The storm this week has the potential to trigger major travel problems on the roads and may trigger a significant number of flight cancellations in the northwest, so just be aware of that. This storm looks like it will bring the San Francisco Bay Area the biggest rain of the season, depending on if the rain can settle farther south toward the end of this week. That's all for now. You can find more stories and regional forecasts, including the latest on Tropical Storm Sarah, as it tracks toward the Florida coast at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, including a hurricane tracker, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.